Have you ever noticed that no matter how much you try to save, there's always some problem that drains your money? The gas cylinder runs out all of a sudden. The car breaks down on payday, your phone suddenly stops working, or even your sandals snap when you least expect it. The result is always the same. Your budget doesn't add up, your paycheck evaporates, and you end up turning to the bank, whether by taking out a loan or sinking into credit card debt. If this has ever happened to you, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because today, I'm going to reveal what's really behind the banks, and what you'll discover can forever change the way you see your money. Banks know exactly how this cycle works. They understand the ups and downs of ordinary people's lives. They know how unexpected events wreck budgets, and they take advantage of this to create a system where, with every setback, you become more dependent on them. Imagine John, an ordinary worker who deposits his paycheck every month without fail. He thinks that when he sees that number in his banking app, his money is safe. But what John doesn't realize is that at that very moment, the bank has already put that money to work. They lend it out, invest it, multiply it. While John believes he has $1,000 sitting in his account, the bank has already lent out $10,000 to other clients using that same money as a base. And when John needs credit, it will be the same bank offering him loans at abusive rates, using the very money that was his in the first place. It goes like lending your bike to your neighbor and then having to pay rent to use it again. And this machine isn't limited to loans. Banks have created a web of small, invisible traps that silently erode your pocket. Maintenance fees, withdrawal charges, transfer fees, insurance policies you don't even remember signing up for. These seem like small amounts, cents or a few dollars, but multiplied by millions of customers, they become colossal fortunes. It is like an invisible toll. You don't even notice you're repaying it, but every time you breathe inside the system, they take a piece of your air. And while you're grinding away at work for 160 hours a month, they're making billions just by pressing a button that deducts money automatically from your account. The most perverse game, however, is that of easy credit. Colorful credit cards in TV ads, overdraft protection sold as an emergency solution, pre-approved credit popping up in your app as if it's a gift. But every one of these offers is a carefully designed trap. Once you fall in, getting out is nearly impossible. It's like quicksand. At first it feels solid, but the more you move, the deeper you sink. The bank doesn't want you to pay off your debt. It wants you to live eternally tied to it, paying interest month after month, year after year. And this never-ending cycle is what feeds the record profits they brag about every quarter. Now think, why has there never been a mandatory financial education subject in schools? Why do we learn formulas of inorganic chemistry, but never how to handle a credit card? Why don't governments teach us how compound interest actually works? Because it doesn't serve those who control the system. Ignorance is the fuel that keeps the machine spinning, and banks know this better than anyone. They'd rather spend billions on ad campaigns for no annual fee cards than invest a single cent teaching you how to escape debt. Knowledge frees, but ignorance pays dividends. The cruel reality is that you are never a customer. You are always the product. Banks don't want you to thrive, they want you to consume credit. They don't want you to save, they want you to drown in debt. Their profits don't come from your wealth, but from your misery. Every time you miss a payment, every time you max out your card, every time you fall into overdraft, the bank celebrates. They profit from your failure. It's a game where for them to win, you have to lose. But there is a way out, and it starts with waking up. You can flip the script. Instead of letting your money sit idle in a checking account, you can put it into investments that work in your favor. Instead of using credit to finance consumption, you can use it as a tool for conscious leverage. It's like learning chess. At first, you move pieces without strategy, but once you understand the hidden rules, you start controlling the board. And that shift in mindset is what separates those who are exploited from those who take control. Real stories prove this is possible. Mary, for example, was a public employee drowning in overdraft, paying 20% interest every month. She decided to renegotiate her debts, cancelled her credit cards, and started investing in government bonds. Within 5 years, she was debt-free and built up wealth she never imagined. John, that same ordinary worker, began investing part of his paycheck in funds, and within 3 years, his returns surpassed the raises he was getting at work. These stories aren't fairy tales. They're proof that when you understand the game, you stop being a pawn and start playing as a king. And this is what really scares banks, the silent revolution happening right now. In the past, only the elite had access to financial knowledge. Today, anyone with a smartphone can learn investment strategies. That's what the system fears, that you will understand how it works and free yourself from its gears. Every person who wakes up is one less cog in the exploitation machine. The problem is that most people are still asleep. They believe in 12 installments with no interest, trust ads blindly, accept paying fees they don't even understand. And this is where the real prison lies, not in debt itself, but in the mindset that banks nurture. They want you to think small, to accept the endless grind, to never question why their profits grow while your money disappears. And every quarter, the headlines read, Bank X reports record profits. But no one asks, where did that money come from? It came from you, from your debts, from your late fees, from your charges. You are the invisible source that sustains those numbers. They don't create wealth, they transfer it, taking from millions to concentrate it in the hands of a few. It's the greatest silent wealth transfer in history, and it's happening right now before your eyes. That's why the first step is to see, the second is to act. Renegotiate debts, cut unnecessary cards, learn to invest, seek knowledge. Each action is an act of rebellion against a system that profits from your ignorance. And the more people wake up, the weaker this system becomes. So, if this video opened your eyes, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who also needs to wake up. Because together, we can turn indignation into action. And I'll end with a quote from George Orwell. In a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. Your revolutionary act begins now, not just watching, but acting. The bank may be powerful, but knowledge is invincible.